Alright guys, going to talk about GOEV and also just market conditions. Huge shifts in market conditions um, that we've seen starting, I would say, last Thursday and going until today. Took two shorts on this. Obviously one on a crazy parabolic, right? And usually I just don't, I don't try to guess tops on parabolics. I will try to, if I think it's a weaker market, I will see if it comes down to like maybe the 1 minute 20 or something and maybe makes a rotation like this. And, that could be really nice in a weaker market, but it's just one straight down. Um, don't really try to guess tops. But as I'm looking at this, GOEV has a couple major things happening here. First of all, big volume on the parabolic. So any big volume play trading 1 million, 2 million shares per minute has tons of potential for backside games. And as we start this shift into a weaker market, a lot of those backside games are not going to break high day, right? So, a couple things like huge parabolic, which is nice to see, because inherently bearish just from a lack of consolidation, right? Um, and we get something we've seen on this channel many times before, quick deep pullback, which creates a lot of empty space for this to rotate into, right? And I believe this was the 1 minute 50 it caught on right down here. So I was like, all right, so I'm expecting some type of rotation, right? Something I'm also expecting is the time. As you start to get past market open volatility, where things like this can happen, patterns that happen, especially post 10, especially post 10:30, especially on like backside plays, could take significant periods of time, 1 hour, 2 hours, um, rarely, sometimes more than that. Usually I would say 45 minutes to about an hour and a half is kind of the normal range that backside moves happen in. And it could be up to a couple hours. Every once in a while, you get some like 4 hour chart paint. CLRO last week did something like that, where it's like 4 hours long. But usually it's but I'm expecting a lot of backside moves will happen a good 45 minutes bare minimum. And in this case, we got a couple bearish factors, right? So the main bearish factor is the weakening market conditions. We're seeing market open shorts work. We're seeing pre-market shorts work. We're seeing high day clearouts. How many high day clearouts this year were huge short traps that ended up squeezing another 50%, 100%, tons and tons and tons. But now we're seeing, starting from Thursday into Friday into today, I've probably seen 5 high day clearouts work in the morning too. In a strong market, you might get a random high day clearout at 1 p.m., 2 p.m. After the stock's already pushed 400% fade. But now we're getting range bound stocks. Not that many plays over 100%, and definitely very few over 200%, right? And we're starting to see high day clearouts work, right? So we'll talk about more of that in the video. I'm just going to go over my short. I did two shorts on this. One was on this kind of super aggressive support swipe into initiation. And given the weakening market conditions and given the parabolic that happened earlier, I tend to view this type of aggressive initiation as a potential long trap, right? Because the stock has already made a big move. It's already went parabolic. It's already run 100 something%. A lot of people will chase moves like this. Will chase candles like this, right? So I liked how 330 was painted, and I liked how on the book the 330 ask got filled. It showed a lot of weakness, and I shorted it, and I kind of expected to just kind of roll over like this, and come and attack these lows, right? Come and attack these lows, but then it started catching bids on the book, and it started grinding back up. And the reason I cut my losses on this 330 break was because I really didn't like how far away my average was from high day, right? This is a nice, potentially bullish long trap, But this would have been better if this happened like up here. You know what I mean? Like if it was at like 360, 370s would have been better. But I'm in like the high 320s on my average. It's not super great. There's still a bunch of empty space that I can rotate into. I don't know how this is also kind of on a like a weird multi-day run. It's a small bullish factor, and there was kind of an ask holding this down, and I decided to cut my losses when it broke. But then, I'm expecting this to kind of ramp up, right? But I'm watching this, and it's still just bid propping, right? And high clearouts and bid props are patterns you will see in a weaker market, right? In a stronger market, we got, you know, we got plays like this, right? Just straight up, like insane, if you, for the people in Mikey Underdog's room, insane happy face patterns, as I was calling them, where you just get these giant U patterns that go straight up. But in a weaker market, you start to get things like bid props. And, I saw this double top here. I thought that was an interesting little painted level, right? Anytime I see a clear, like to the cent painted level on the backside, I always try to remember that. We saw this, I think, on my RGLS short. We had, I think I made a video on that. RGLS had a midday, it had like a 11 a.m. parabolic. It fell backwards. On the backside, it popped, had a clear level that it came back, swiped, and then faded, right? So this is a lot of times on the backside when you have a clear like level like this, those levels like to get attacked, right? In terms of stopping out shorts and longs chasing a breakout. And I love, you could see all the higher lows, a million higher lows on this thing. Very, symmetrical, clearly painted. In a weak market, it can be really weak. So I wasn't anticipating it. I was kind of looking at 3.5 over here. It never broke 3.5. And on the book, it gave a very bearish signal where on kind of this breakout of this level, there was 0 bids following this up, and they immediately started to knife it. And I thought it was, given that this was in a, this is 10:30 and this is 11:20, we're getting about almost 2 hours of bid propping, right? Which I know just from midday patterns, it's kind of in the range where patterns tend to work, right? Where the midday liquidity kind of executes whatever move it's going to do. In this case, I think the market's weaker. So, and given the parabolic, I think it's going to do some type of long trappy push. They pull it, and the reason I covered at 3 here was because I'll show you the chart on Thinkorswim. I don't know why I can't move this. Oh no, there we go. Midday stocks, it's a very good idea to go to longer time frames. You could see things like the 5-minute 50 and the 5-minute 20, right? Here's the 5-minute 50 showing as support. It was support back here. And I like that I was covering into a 3 swipe, right? Because, if we go to the 15-minute chart, we can also see very cleanly respected MAs, the 50, the 20, the 9, and here's the 20 again, right? I was afraid this would bounce off the 20 and rotate, and it almost did here, and then it knifed, which is great to see. But this, the $3 swipe here was lining with a bunch of MAs that I thought if it was going to reclaim and go on some crazy multi-day run or keep squeezing, that this just would be a good area to cover some into, especially because they were walking it down. You can see them walking it down, walking it down, walking it down. So a lot of these walk downs like to get rotated into. Luckily this push, especially this push right here, didn't go anywhere, and it cracked these lows. I'm still holding. I'll see how it goes by the end of day. But going back to high day clearouts, we had, in terms of market conditions, we had JTAI last week. Right? Here's a high day clearout. especially not only the high day clearouts, we're getting these very aggressive, almost like 1 minute 9. It's coming from these deeper support levels, and it's going straight up in the high day and pulling, right? And we saw that here. We saw this on APM, right? Here's another high day clear out that worked and faded most of the day, right? We saw today on WLDS in the pre-market, right? Another kind of painted high day clear out right here. High day clear out, this faded. WAVD, another aggressive high day. I missed this play. I actually was kicking myself for not longing this down here. This is actually a not so bad market open long. But this was another high day clear out that we're getting these aggressive high day clear outs that are fading. And we're getting things like, WEME I covered. I didn't even notice. I didn't even know this happened today. It's pretty funny. WEME, we had the fake 5-minute flag pattern happen over here, and on not STI. Oh, STI was another high day clear out, another aggressive high day clear out that also faded. We're getting so that's the type of, and then we got a bid prop on GOEV, right? So there's your bid prop short. Here's a trend break. So high day clouds in the morning working, lower gapping percentages, lower volume in the pre-market, lower gapping percentages, bid props, fake 5-minute flags. These are all weaker market patterns, right? And it's good for shorting. So I guess bonus would be a bonus thing. This video was a little bit short. I took a long. I don't have the screenshot, but I took a long. This is something that's good to know in a stronger market. It's what I call a long at the top. So if we go to STI at 840 here, so STI had this like essentially when it broke $3, right? Because that was the resistance level from this day, the intraday runner day, right? So $3 got broken, which is a major resistance level. So that's a big moment right here, right? That was a major point of resistance on STI, and something very interesting on the book happened here that I guess I could have went over the book on GOEV really fast on GOEV. Here's that kind of aggressive support swipe in the push. As you see, not a whole lot of bids under it. I like that it swiped 3.3 here, 65,000 shares, and started to stall. You can see a new big ask coming in. These are 50,000 share asks coming in. I thought that was really nice, which is also why I got out when it broke towards that ask. You can actually see them pulling the ask. And then the bid prop, here's that painted 343-ish level. It got broken right here. Big volume, right? No bid. And they started to pull the stock, right? And I kind of had to chase into the short down there. So, but yeah, SCI, a little bonus in the pre. If we go to 840 in the pre-market, so here's where it broke 3. You can see all these asks getting sold into, and then it broke 3, and they stacked a bunch of bids, with a very thin order book to the upside. And in the right context, and this is way better in a stronger market, it's also way better when the order book's a little thinner than this. Like, there's some low floats where there's only like 500 shares between like each penny. Like there's 200, 100, 300 shares between each penny level. And stocks can just have, that's when you start getting like 20% green candles in the pre-market. But I really did like how this is the classic, what I call long at the top strategy, where it breaks a key resistance level. They throw a million bids under it. I like to see the bids hold for at least a little bit, even if it's like 20, 30 seconds. And I took a long here, and I actually held through these knife candles with the 1 minute 20. If we go up to the 1 minute 20, on this. The 1 minute 20 was my ultimate support level, this green line. And I was keeping a close eye on the bids down here. They were holding, and I sold some into the push, and then I got out on the knife when the 1 minute 20 here got broken. I got out. And made like, I don't know, 10%, 9%, something. I don't know. it was okay. But hey, that's a pretty funny pattern. But yeah, these aggressive high day swipes. Something to note. So that's how the market is so far. I'm sure there'll be something strong this week, but we're getting a lot of by the way, fake VWAP. I was calling this out in the Discord. Fake VWAP resistance. Fake VWAP. It's just hard to time these longs off of the 1 minute 200. I do them sometimes, but they're not always easy. I like the market open longs a little more than these like 10 a.m., 10:30 a.m. longs off of these support levels. But yeah, this was an interesting one. Nice little fake, like all this fake VWAP resistance, fake VWAP, you know. I was telling my Discord, I make these weekly videos, and I was telling them, like, the classic under VWAP manipulation is near market open, where you get this very tightly controlled, choppy price action, where every time it touches VWAP, it gets rejected, but the bids hold very well, and you get this, like, very controlled. That's usually somebody soaking under VWAP, especially near market open. You make VWAP seem weak. You have this tight, controlled, choppy price action with some bids on the book holding it up, and then you rotate it back. It can actually be very strong. So that's the video for today. Information down below about the Discord, and yeah, we'll see. Try to. I'll admit I didn't catch any of these high day clearouts, but I'm gonna keep an eye out for the bearish patterns going into pre-market and market open. So. All right, that's it for today. You guys have a good one, and see ya.